Hey guys, welcome back to Obscure Rides Auction Reviews. This is a quick, this is actually a vehicle that had already sold. Pretty rare, something that I'm not 100% familiar with, but I had known about these since I was a kid. This was a German vehicle called the Fuldamobil, and this is during a time when Germany was rebuilding, and there was a microcar boom back in the 50s, and there were a lot of different microcars that came about, which includes the most well-known is the BMW Isetta, the Heinkel, and also the Fuldamobil and Scooter car. And there were quite a few others, Kleinschnittger, I can go on and on and on. So Fuldamobil, which is interesting about Fuldamobil, they started way back in 1949 and came out in 1950. So this is a pretty early one because they were in production until 1969, and this is the Type N or the NWF. So this is basically a scooter with a cover, scooter with a fairing. So really cool car. Let's just see if we can dive into this a little bit here. So one of 700 built, first registered in Germany back in 54. It was imported to the US by Bruce Weiner. So Bruce Weiner had a microcar museum in Georgia, and that shut down a few years ago, but his website is still available. Now, the other Fuldamobil that I know of in the U.S., I know this is not the only one. The other one that I know of is in a restaurant on display in Orlando, Florida. It's the only other one that I personally know of. Looks like a 197cc two-stroke paired with a Herth 3-speed sequential transmission with a reverse. So basically a motorcycle transmission. 49,000 kilometers. Who knows what the real mileage is on this car. So I can't pronounce this over here. Electro Maschinenbau Fulda GmbH of Fulda, Germany. Let's see here, built between 50 and 69. You can see these really tiny wheels, the bench seat, red upholstery. Look at that interior, wow. There's your air-cooled two-stroke. It was rebuilt in 21, fitted with a Bing carburetor. Look at that. Chain driven. Looks like I had some work done. Let's take a look at these photos here. So really, you could say a mid-century modern design. Really beautiful, actually. Like a very streamlined design, almost like an airplane, you could say. Very German in the design. Fuldamobil. There's your speedometer. Very interesting. I mean, just judging by the photos, this car was definitely restored, but in exceptional condition. Suicide doors. It looks Honestly, like a very well designed vehicle. Very simple, but very well designed. The Germans knew what they were doing, even with microcars like this. Wow, look at that leaf suspension just going across. Very, very cool. Some of the paperwork. And that's about it. Let's see what videos they got.
All right, we're going to go through a operability starting and just the controls on how this Fuldamobil operates. So let me zoom in here, and we'll have Max go ahead and start. But the first thing we got to do is turn the fuel.
So you've got 3 positions. You have off, your main, and then reserve. And the reserve is just a little lower, so you can run the gas tank out a little bit more. It gives you, I think, an extra gallon or so. So we'll go ahead and click it all the way over. Then we'll get up here, and the key's a bit of a little unusual key. You just stick it straight in. You don't have to turn it or anything. You push it straight in. Then you have your starter button here. This is for choke. It's a little warm here in Charlotte today, so we're just gonna hit the starter button. It fires right up. This is your neutral safety light, so you know that the gearbox is in neutral when this little light's on. This light is your charging light for the dyno start, and it's normal at idle for it to maybe flicker a little bit, but it should always be off with some RPM. So that's good there. You know, horn, clock, of course, very important to have. You have your speedometer right here in kilometers, and this is your wiper motor. Works both of your wipers. And let's see, then your light switch is actually part of your ignition switch. So when you turn to the first position, that's your driving lights, your riding lights.
Okay.
Then you go one more click over, and that's your headlights. And then, of course, you have your high beam switch down low where you hit it with your foot. You may or may not be able to see that in the video, but it's down just below the clutch pedal there for your high beams.
And then we've got the turn signals.
Oh, and of course, we have turn signals here. So this is your turn signal switch.
Let me go to the other side and show you. And now driver's side.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Very cool.
I think that about covers it, doesn't it, Max?
Yeah. Yep, that covers the controls for sure.
Okay, go ahead and turn it off, and I'll open the engine compartment.
Alrighty.
Okay, and now we're gonna open the engine compartment. Back here. Yeah. And there's this little key here to take
Stick
the
this little
compartment.
key in.
Special key.
Unlock the latch here. There's also a latch up at the front of the car, or the front of this panel here. Take those both loose. And then this is actually hinged, make it a little easier to pull out.
Wow, look at that.
And there's the single cylinder 200cc engine.
Yep, you got easy access to your battery down there. And your fuel filler is right here. So you could just pop the rear part of this hatch, unlock that, fold it forward, and then fill up your gas tank without having to completely remove the whole panel.
And of course there's another battery cutoff switch right there as well.
Yep.
So, and that includes our, and there is the bench seat there. You can see the latches there,
it
it can go
unhinges.
forward, that bench seat, and there's a spare tire back behind there.
Oh, wow.
But that concludes our video. Okay, we're going to do a quick driving video here of the Fuldamobil. So go ahead, Max.
All right. Get your key in. Make sure your fuel's already on. Hit the starter button. Now from here, it's a good thing to indicate that you're in neutral. By this little light being on there, that's your neutral light. And then for your shifting pattern, from neutral, forward gets you into reverse. So we're in reverse right now. The light went out. Now to go back into neutral from reverse, you pull backwards. Now we're back in neutral. To go to all your higher gears, you're going to go backwards. So now we're in first gear. And then if you want to go from first gear back into neutral, you push forward to get out of gear. So it's a scooter transmission, so it's a sequential kind of pattern.
Just like a motorcycle.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go for a little test drive. Let's go ahead and engage first gear there.
Wow, that shifts so smooth. Looks like it has a lot of power to it.
First
Decent
right
amount of
now.
power.
Second gear. Third gear. There's third
Gear.
gear. Pull in here, then downshift into second gear.
Sounds really good. It's probably on too high of a gear though. It's gonna be slow.
From the stop and
And that concludes our quick driving video. We're back to neutral.
boom.
Beautiful.
All right, we're going to do another quick driving video with our fearless test driver, Max. And I'm outside of the car. So, Max, take it away.
See what it sounds like. Sounds pretty healthy. See, a very interesting car. Yeah, so, and that concludes the video here. This is a 1954 Fuldamobil NWF 200. And definitely not the only one in the US, but definitely exceptionally rare. Thanks for watching.